to this stream and see what will happen. This thing sharing.
Yeah, but
If you
so
go
hang on, if
to-
I
wait, I'll show you.
He's getting res though.
Good job, Rod.
Guys, shoot down for a second. Just see.
Oh, I'm gonna start streaming, hon. I'm going to start streaming. Should I close the door?
Okay. Testing 1, 2. This should be switching. There you go. Wonder if this should be switching. There you go. Yeah. So that's going. Wonder if this should be switching. There you go. Yeah. So that's going. Wonder if this should be switching. There you go. Why is it looping? So that's going. Wonder if this should be switching. There you go. Why is it looping? So that's going. Wonder if, well, I guess I have to this should be switching. There you go. Why is it looping? We got different sound sources. Wonder if, well, I guess I have to this should be switching. There you go. Why is it looping? We got different sound sources. Wonder if, well, I guess I have to this should be switching. There you go. Why is it looping? Okay, this is fine. Facebook video, okay. Yeah, you're up. And yep, you're still here. And is Instagram still correct? Yep. That's all fine here. And Kick isn't updating. Come on. Let's refresh this. That one's going. This is going. And that's going. So yeah, they're all going. And the stream bit rate 0. Yeah, that's as many places as you can get it. So yeah, I guess hello. And oh, we actually need to start recording when we start going to take this seriously. And hello, we're finally have something going here where I hope the audio on this is correct, but very excited to be streaming on 6 outputs at once here. Separate streams for vertical and horizontal YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Facebook, and Instagram. So this is a stream I have built. So that's a pretty good place to start. Hi, this is Apple Gisor, Antonio Juan Suarez Colon. I'll be trying to show you just the stuff I've been collecting for the last year that I didn't crack open. Do I care that I'm not hearing from the game? Not really. I would usually have my own audio here, but I would rather have it set that up later. And what I will show you instead is all these packs of magic cards that I haven't opened from all the games I played in 2025. We can all just in some I'll show these. I'll show from the most recent, the Avatar: The Last Airbender ones, to the Omen Paths, the legally distinct version of Spider-Man, Edge of Eternities, the space set. Thought it was a hat set, turned out pretty good. What's this? Edge of Eternity's Alchemy, Arena only cards, Final Fantasy crossover, biggest thing in Magic this year. The pre-release I went to had a cool. Oh, I almost forgot. I'm recording here. Recording there. Good. Magic the Gathering, Final Fantasy crossover, biggest thing this year. Just maxed out capacity at my local gaming store. Hey, want to play? Inc. Shout out to them. Shout out to them and their D&D nights as well. Commander nights on Sunday. And an all-around awesome shop. So big shout out to Hey, want to play games. Tarkir Dragonstorm, pretty meat and potatoes magic. The playing's pretty cool. Story I want to learn more about, but guess what? It involves a storm of dragons. Tarkir Alchemy, Aether Drift, the car set. Everyone's in a race. Turns out there's a lot of social political commentary hidden in the lore for that set. Shout out to Spice 8 Rack for a pretty interesting interview and video about social commentary related to and hidden in the world document for Aether Drift. And the set, the planes is built and formerly known as Kaladesh, and turned into something turns them into a new. Was it a plane that renamed itself after its revolutions? Dash plane new name. What is a new set? At Avishkar. Kaladesh renamed into Avishkar after the popular revolution that rules the second ruling consulate. But we're going to crack. I accidentally cracked it open before starting, but you know, it's evocative. It's specific. This was a pretty cool card. I want to play more of. What's this? You can. Ooh. Any accessibility this turn? Okay, interesting. So your turn, as long as you haven't activated an accessibility this turn. I don't actually. I'm not sure how that works. Like if you can activate, I guess, refresh things this turn, but you can only activate one exhaustibility each turn. But yeah, you can reuse, I suppose, is the point. And what's the mystery card? Demonic Junker. Ooh, this is actually the chase card for the set. Demonic Junker, affinity 6 for black, affinity for artifacts. So basically 1. When this vehicle enters for each player, destroy up to one target player that player controls. If a creature you control will destroy this way, put 2 +1/+1 counters on this vehicle, so you can sacrifice your creature to get 2 +1/+1 counters on it, and destroy one target creature for each player, which doesn't matter as much here because it's 1v1. But this is definitely a card I would be happy to open for this set, and I would be more happy to open if I ever open it IRL. So here's hoping for that. We're gonna continue the introductions. We got Aether Drift, Alchemy, Pioneer Masters. Thing I didn't play much. I wish I'd gotten more into. But yeah, we'll see more about it once I start cracking the packs. And then Magic Foundations, the core set for the next 5 years. Very strong set. I actually did pretty well in these drafts, as you can see here. So let's crack a few of these and see what's inside. And, any interesting stuff in the back half? Big guy. Nothing super exciting. No. Okay. Let's see what we got. What we got in the front. Okay, let's see. Slack Storm. 2 damage to each creature or each player. Strong. Yeah. Good stuff here. Abyssal Harvester. Exile target creature card from a graveyard that was put there this turn. Create a token copy that is, except it's a nightmare according to its other types. Exile all other nightmares you control. Next we have Anthem of Champions, 2 cost Anthem. That's pretty sick. I already have some, but I would. This is standard playable, maybe. Genesis Wave. Reveal the top X cards of your library. You may put any number of permanent cards with mana value X or less from among them onto the battlefield. Then put all cards revealed this way that weren't put onto that battlefield into your graveyard. Next we have Sylvan Scavenging. 3 costs, either At the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, or create a green raccoon creature token if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. Let's go with Laughs at Fate. 2/2 first strike. Whenever Elish attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And raid at the beginning of your end step. Return target creature with combatant mana cost less than or equal to Aleshka's power from your graveyard onto the battlefield. Next is Seer Slicer Goblin with raid. If it sends the 2/2 to 1 for 2 at the beginning of your end step, if you attack this turn, create a red goblin creature token. Solid stuff. Should be in my goblin deck already, hopefully. Monculus Horde. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a token that's a copy of this creature. I mean, it's a 2/2. I guess they grow geometrically because each one created creates a new copy, but I'm not even super excited about that. Rise of the Dark Realms would put all creature cards from all graveyards on the battlefield under your control. Situational, fun, cool card. Johnny Call Over the Pride. Put a +1/+1 counter one target creature. It's target creature gains flying and double strike until end of turn. Create X 2/2 white cat creature tokens where X is your life total. That's just the first batch, and we don't want to keep track. Oh, we gotta see where we're at with our 40 rare visiting rare wild cards, which is the real prize for these for cracking packs. And I really schlepped it this past year not cracking these things, but it's panning out now. We got 2 more rare wild cards. Let's just go straight to the rares. I don't think there was anything exciting there. Extravagant Replication. 4 blue. When at the beginning of your upkeep, create a token that's a copy of another target non-land permanent you control. Good for the Miracles deck because it's 4 generic blue. Would be interested to see that, but instead if we make a deck for that person and try to run that myself. Spinner of Souls. I remember this thing rolling me in draft or sealed. 4/3 reach. Whenever a non-target creature you control dies, you may reveal cards of the target library until you reveal a creature card. Put it into your hand. Rest of the top of the on the bottom of your library in a random order. So all of your creatures replace themselves into your hand. Very strong, crazy in draft. Time stop. Oof. End the turn. Just you'd like to see like a clean card play like this. Just end the turn, and the official card has all of the implications for that, so people understand what you're getting when you just get the card. But this is Arena. Just let the game handle the rules. End the freaking turn. You're done. The spell you're casting, it's done. The combat you thought you're having, it's done. The triggered ability that you thought that was gonna win you the game in your upkeep, guess what? You don't get a turn at all. You cast that thing in the upkeep, nothing is happening for you. It's a time skip. But no, okay, so Barricade, 2 blue, 1 white, 1 white, 1 colorless. Defender, you have hexproof. Prevent all non-combat damage that will be dealt to other creatures you control, so you can still blast it first. Raise the Pass for white, return all creature cards with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Kellen playing on Train Blazer, kind of just this upgrade mode. Pretty, I mean, it should be a cool card advantage engine, but without any kind of evasion, it's tough to pull in red unless you're just blasting everybody, I suppose. Doubling Season, when if a 4 green, if an effect would create 1 or more tokens under your control, it creates twice that many tokens instead. And if an effect would put 1 or more counters on a permanent you control, it puts twice that many counters instead. Loot Exorbitant Explorer. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. 4 blue, green, green. Tap, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card for a mana value less than or equal to the number of lands you control from among them and put it onto the battlefield. Return the crest to the bottom in a random order. And the top line cards here, Kato Cutting Infiltrator first for me. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put a Lure's counter on Kaito, and then +1 up to 1 target creature you control can be blocked this turn, and draw a card, discard a card, and then or -2 to create a 2/1 blue ninja creature token. That's not great, but it is a guy that I suppose you can make that till later. And then -9. You get an emblem with whenever a player casts a spell, create a 2/1 blue ninja creature token. That is possibly the lamest card to cost ratio for an ultimate I've ever seen. -9 for getting a plain do whenever a player casts a spell. Very not great. But let's see if we can compensate here. Rise of the Dragon Caller. Whenever you cast a instant or sorcery spell, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. Okay, pretty cool. Man, I don't know. We just rather just have a red 5 creature with flying, but I guess if you could get this out for cheap, start hitting spells. Not in the same deck for this guy because of the color requirement, but still pretty exciting. All right, moving on. The next 10. Now I'm paying attention, and I'm sure nothing of interest is in the back. First thing here, Lathril, Blade of the Elves. Sorry to make this thing for forever. Whenever Lathril deals common damage to a player, create them any 1/1 green elf warrior creature tokens. Tap 10 untapped elves you control. Each opponent loses 10 and you gain 10. Okay, then we already went through. Painful Quandary. Whenever an opponent casts a spell that player loses 5 life unless they discard a card. Archmage of Runes. Okay. Whenever instant sorcery spells cost 1 less, when you cast an instant sorcery spell, draw a card. Strong stuff. Arabo, the Reverse Fang. Other cats get +1. Whenever Arabo or another non-token cats enters, create another white cat, 1/1 white cat creature token. Wild card is what we want to see. More wild cards, please. Another time stop. Thank you. Dirty consoles. Here you have it. Thank you. Kaifar, Zephyr Awakener. Whenever you cast a non-target creature spell, choose either exile another target creature and then return it into their owner's control at the beginning of the next end step, or a create 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. And Rick, mythic wild card. Yes, this is exactly what we want. And we got another 10. That's one. In Lunar Insight, draw a card for each different mana value among non-land permanents you control. Slag Storm we already have. Runescar Demon. Ooh, by first I gotta have other Runescar Demons, but oof. Reanimator All-Star. When the creature enters, 5/5 for 7. Black flying. When this creature enters, search your library for a card and put it into your hand, and just shuffle your library out. After Frostborn Hydra, 2 for green trample. This creature enters with a +1/+1 counter on its landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, double the number of +1/+1 counters on this creature. So yeah, or I think it's 2 to the X to the landfall. Whether this guy. Linda Saint of Dusk. Whenever, as long as your life total is greater than your starting life total, it has +1/+1 counter and menace, and it has another +5/+5 as long as your life total is 10 greater your starting life total. Okay, yeah, we're a little beater. High Fate Tricksters. You may cast spells as Zohad Flash. I already have one of these from another deck. Exemplar of Light. Ooh. When you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. When you put +1/+1 counters on this creature, draw a card. Okay, yeah. I hope it's in my life gain deck. Progenitus. 2 Woobergs, please. Protection from everything. Is it a thing? And this is protected. And if you're trying to get it out from your deck, if you put into a graveyard from anywhere, if you exile it, it's exiled. But if you put it into a graveyard from anywhere, you could reveal it and shovel it into the Honor's Library instead. Finally, Quilled Great Worm, 4 green, trample. Whenever a creature you control deals common damage during your turn, put that many +1/+1 counters on it. Interesting that they must survive to get the counters, because it would have, you'd have to, it's pretty lame parentheses, or maybe predicted parentheses, because anybody who knows this game knows that whenever things that trigger out, whenever things deal combat damage, things that affect combat damage would affect the space-based action before this trigger would resolve. Last 6 for our foundations. Ooh, let's do second right. Exactly 10. Then you lose exactly 10. Mossman Hydra. No, that's a goblin. Drake Hatcher. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, put that many incubation counters on it. Remove 3 incubation cube counters. Create a Drake. Okay. You're really hatching those Drakes. That's decent. Brass's Bounty, 6 in red. For each land you control, create a treasure token. Notably not a tapped treasure token. And finally, oh, Preposterous Proportions. Creatures you control get +10/+10 and vigilance. Nice. Call out to Might of Oaks, or to me. The Might of Oaks just shows these trees, but just a huge squirrel. It gives me Might of, reminds me of the original Might of Oaks from Urza's Legacy. Legacy was the middle set. Lul says Saga, Lul says Legacy, Lur says Destiny is the third with Academy Rector. And continuing on, we're still going to try to follow the chronological order. Let's see what Pioneer Masters was. That's a lot of new cards. I don't think it's going to be super exciting. Clearshot is pretty good, like a limited card. This is a combo card though. You just follow and tap another target permanent and tap anything you want. It's pretty good. Let's see, can be blocked, and when it attacks square 1, that's a good enchantment for if you're casting blue. Cast a spell if you cast another spell this turn. Illusory Angel. That's pretty cool. Bestow. But star creatures are here. That's got potential. Let's see. Nylea's Disciple. Gaining life into your devotion for green. Audacity. And the poor Rancor's little brother. The audacity. The audacity to think you could stand up to Rancor. Rancor was pretty busted. Let's see. Nothing of super note here. Green blocking restriction. That's not unblockable, but it's interesting. Pretty weird stuff. Just what I don't even know what to make of this. It's actually, the art is more straightforward than I guess I was giving it credit for, but it's just kind of weird and off-putting, which is normal. Oh, you would normally expect. Yeah, it's supposed to be driving you crazy. All right, let's see. Ooh, that's a lot of blank cards here. Let's see. Woodland Wanderer, Vigilance Trample for 4, and basically you get an extra +1 for each color mana spent to cast it, so it's at least a 3/3 up to a 6/6. Unexpected results. Shuffle your library, then reveal the top card. If it's a non-land card, you may cast it without playing its mana cost. If it is a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield and return unexpected results to his owner's hand. Okay. Huh. Nice. Yeah, just, well, the 4 for an X4 is not ideal, but you get the card back. Mist Cutter Hydra. This spell can be countered, Hate protection from blue, and enters with a +1/+1 counters on it. X blue green, classic. Hard to Water Veil, extra turn with a 6/6 land. Strictly inferior to Earthbending, but Earthbending technology hadn't come to Magic yet. Hey, another ways Universe Beyond is maybe Magic Row, just kind of improving things that it could have would have helped. Hornet's Nest, I don't know if people care about this card. Whenever this creature is dealt combat is dealt any damage, create that many +1/+1 green creature tokens with flying and death touch. This needs to be unblockable this needs to have some kind of prevent all damage to it before it can be used at all. Or more than once. Nebulous of Frost, Flying Prowess. When you cast an instant or sorcery spell, target creature and opponent controls. That creature doesn't tap to its controllers. Next untap step. Okay, cool. Next we have Legion Loyalist, which I didn't have. Could go for the Goblin deck. Any 1/1 options are appreciated. Haste, but when this creature and at least 2 other creatures attack, creatures you control get first second trample and can be blocked by creature tokens. Ooh, interesting. Dark Petition. Ooh. Search a library for a card, put it into your hand, and shuffle, and you have 2 or more instant or sorcery cards in your graveyard. Add 3 green black. Wandering Fumarole. Blue enters, taps, and taps for blue or green, and then pay 4. Then this creature becomes a 1/4 blue and red elemental that can switch its power and toughness for 0 mana. Chain to the Rocks, pretty solid stuff. Enchant Mountain. When this aura enters, exile target creature and opponent controls until this aura leaves the battlefield. Yes! Love to see that. Silence. Components can't cost spell this turn. Narset Transcendent. The top creature card of your library. If it's a non-creature, non-land, you can put it into your hand. And when you next cast an instant sorcery, it gains rebound, aka it resolves again in the following turn. And then you get an emblem when your opponents can't cast creature spells. Compare this for 9, starting at 6, from a 4 mana cost Planeswalker compared to the ninja guy we saw earlier for the 9 cost on Planeswalker ultimate ability. It's substantial power difference. And finally, Nissa, Voice of Zendikar. 3 cost Zendikar, 3 cost commander, not super great, but at least this one's at least a little balanced. It's just not super pushed, let's say. Can either create a token, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, which is the strongest mode, and then at 7, gaining X life and drawing X cards, where X is the number of lands you control. It's just probably you would have to do proliferate shenanigans for this for you to expect to get to 7. At least it's 7, not 9. Okay, and the 4 remainers for here. We have Starfield of Nyx. Beginning of upkeep. For white, you may return to our creature card from the graveyard to the battlefield. Ooh. Whoa. I hope that's in that precon. As long as you control 5 or more enchantments, each non-aura enchantment you control is a creature in addition to its other types and has base power and toughness equal to its mana value. So this is already for which one? Each other. So this is not, doesn't affect itself, but it's just better because it's they're less likely to die. Sort of the labyrinth, each player can draw more than one card each turn. Well, it can draw more than one card, interesting. Thought it was a spell. Oop, one other wild card. Round 50, found a flame caller, create 4 red. +1, create 2 3/1 elemental creature tokens with haste. Exile them at the beginning of the next end step. This 0 for discard all cards in your hand and then draw that many cards +1. So it's a red card draw engine. It's 6, but it's red card draw. And -X to deal X damage to each creature. That's pretty strong. Yeah, these have made it work, I feel. Oh, this wear and tear. That's a good one to have. I'm sure we gotta have another somewhere already. I definitely have clear shot. It's just, I guess it's a different set. And yeah, just a lot of pretty generic stuff. Moving on from this. And let's see. We got nothing exciting in the back. Inspiring. When this creature enters, conjure a card named Inspiring Statuary into your hand? Really? Just get this card in your hand. So this is like a second copy of it, because I'm pretty sure this card already exists in Arena. Oh, interesting. Pushing, yeah, this is the kind of card you would want to push. Stardew Engines. Double team. Conjure a card and Morgan the Petra goes onto the battlefield, and then this creature loses its ability. And I think double team is also an ability that get lost. So yeah, this whole 0 ability thing is kind of has to be an alchemy thing because it's the only way to give it design space. Give it design space. And let's see what the rares we're getting here. Chompering Mastasar. When this creature, 4 red creature dinosaur. When this creature enters or attacks, discard a card, then seek a non-land card. When you discard a card this way, this creature deals damage equal to the discarded card's mana value to any target. Interesting. Nice. Oh. With this. Wait. Cool. Yeah. Shout out to Jonathan Velasquez. Happy New Year. I should be liking my stuff here. Okay. And coming back here, we got Naktamun shines again. All cards you own with mana value 2 or less perpetually gain. All creature cards you own with mana value 2 or less perpetually gain +1/+. Oh, I think this is an arena only thing that would affect things in the graveyard and then deck. It's crazy. Number 2, see a creature card with mana value 2 or less, put it onto the battlefield. Okay. And then creature you control with mana value 2 or less gain flying until end of turn. Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool for like a weenie deck, but like red stuff is interestingly more better for that. And then here we got Hammerback Assembler. Start your engine. When it's artifact enters, you conjure a Hangerback Walker into your hand and into the battlefield. I'm sorry. 2 for the you conjure a 1/1 Hangerback Assembler, the Hangerback Walker rather, and then at max speed, put on +1/+1 counter on each artifact creature and or vehicle you control. Interesting stuff. And I get the regular Aether Drift. And, ooh, we got another rail and a mythic wild card there. We're just gonna go straight to the good stuff here. Bloodghast. Black. This creature can block. This creature has haste as long as an opponent controls centerless life. And a landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, you may return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So recurring little imp here. Boommobile. When this creature enters, add 4 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to activate abilities, which hopefully this creature has one. But all you can cast once. You exhaust X +2 red. So this deals damage to any target and put a 1 +1/+1 counter on his vehicle. Go play everywhere, more mana. I guess it's you get the 4 that you put into the mana cost. Regal Imperious are 3/1 green for a 5/5. Other dinosaurs equip +1/+1. A dragon, a dinosaur lord, 3 cost dinosaur lord. It's the going rate for lords, but it wasn't expecting that +1/+2 buff. Well, no, more +1/+2. It's usually +1/+1. These are usually 2/2, so having this as a 5/4 is pretty meaty. Next, it's a Fearless Swashbuckler, Fish Pirate. It's 1 blue-red creature Fish Pirate. Haste. Vehicles you control have haste. Whenever you attack, if a pirate and a vehicle attacks this turn, draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards. That's very specific. Could I get an or vehicle, pirate or vehicle? Oh, I got a Gearhulk. When this creature ends, green, white, first strike, trampler, 4/4. When this creature enters, you may search your library for up to 2 artifact creature and or enchantment cards with mana value 1 or less. Reveal them and then put it into your hand. Shuffle your library. Next, it's Caradora, Heart of Alacria. 2 green-white. Legendary creature, Human Knight. When a Caradora enters, you may search your library for a mount or a vehicle card, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. If 1 or more +1/+1 counters would be put onto a creature or vehicle, put that many +1/+1 counters on it instead, or to be put on it instead. It's weird. Really specific wording. Riptide Gearhulk. Now we're talking. Double strike power. So when this creature enters, for each opponent, put up to 1 target non-opponent that player controls into its owner's library, 3rd from the top. 2/5. Double strike powers. Loot the Pathfinder. 2+ Mardu. Double strike vigilance haste. And can exhaust for 1 time, do at tapping for 3 mana of any color once. Tap blue and it for to draw 3 cards and exhaust red. And tap to loot 3 damage to any target. Next is the Aether Spark, the titular artifact planeswalker. Like artifact planeswalker, the first thing. Fortunately, since it's an artifact, any artifact destruction can't kill it besides planeswalker destruction. As long as Aether Spark is attached to it, but it is a 4/4 artifact planeswalker, equipment planeswalker. And as long as the Aether Spark is attached to a creature, the Aether Spark cannot be attacked, and whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to you in your turn, put that many +1/+1 counters on the Aether Spark. You can have it increase its loyalty to 1 to have it to attach to a creature and put a +1/+1 counter on it. And you can tap, use 5 loyalty to draw 2 cards, or use 10 loyalty to add 10 mana. Which, I don't know if you would want to do that, but drawing 2 cards seems like a very doable goal here, especially starting at 4. And finally, we got Radiant Lotus. 6 to tap and sacrifice 1 or more artifacts, notably not necessarily this artifact. Then you can choose a color, and then target user adds 3 mana of the chosen color for each active artifact sacrificed this way. Next is what is this? I don't know. We're getting distracted. We got still got a lot to get through, and it's 11. Even what? No, more than just 11, is it? No, it's 11. Lifecraft. Let's focus up here. Lifecraft engine, 3 cast artifact vehicle. When the creature enters, could use a creature type. Vehicle creatures you control are the chosen creature type in addition to their other types. Each other creature you control of the creatures type that other than this vehicle gets +1/+1. Unstoppable plan, 2 blue enchantment to and tap all non-land permanents you control. This is Debris Beetle. 2 black-green, trample. When this creature vehicles enters, each opponent loses 3 and you gain 3. You can accrue 2 to accrue the 6/6 trample. Seat of Arma. Their creature human rogue, exhaust 4x green blue, put X +1/+1 counters on Seat of Arma, and then you may have the base power and toughness of each other creature you control become equal to Seat of Arma's power until end of turn. Afterbird or Expert. 2 green, exhaust for 4, put 2 +1/+1 counters on this creature, and whenever you activate any exhaust ability, return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Crypt Caller Chariot. Whenever you discard 1 or more cards, put that many tapped black green zombie creature tokens. Another burst. Bazzy, Tomorrow's Champion. OX 1 for a 2/1. It's a good rate. Act 1 and tapping and exerting to create a crad creature token with lifelink, or you can cycle this card. And if you do cats you control, gain hexproof and indestructible, so it can protect the team as well as produce the team, just not at the same time. Chandra Spark Hunter. 3 red legendary planeswalker of the Chandra variety. At the beginning of combat, choose up to 1 target creature you control, and it becomes an artifact creature. Choose up to 1 target vehicle. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose up to 1 target vehicle you control. Until end of turn, it becomes an artifact creature and gains haste. You may sacrifice an artifact or a discarded card if you do draw a card, but for +2 loyalty there. And for 0 loyalty, you can create a 3/2 colorless artifact creature crew 1, and then the -7 is you get an emblem with whenever an artifact enters under your control. This emblem deals 3 damage to any target. At least it'll kill you. And it is another 7, so it is another 7. So at least it's in the running. I mean, the 4/4 isn't terribly exciting. It's a card advantage engine. For 4 instead of 6, so that's something to consider. And then the best card in the set, any card in the set. Up to 20 mythics. Fantastic job. And the last bit of Aether Drift is with a Virgin unit, target passes creature, target ancient or sorcery spell until the controller pays 3. Cool. Another phase of Swashbuckler we already have. Bar Fortune and Boss and Human Mercenary. Whenever you attack, this deals whatever to each opponent targeting. This is a thing that the mercenaries want to do in Battle Loss, I suppose, not here. Max speed, whenever if a sorcery control would deal damage to an opponent or permanent player control, it deals that much damage plus 1. Winwix, verbose host, homunculus host. Start your engine, you have no max given hand size, and then influence your max engine. If you would draw a card, draw 2 cards instead. Quack Feast, choose up to 1 target creature, planeswalker, or vehicle, mill 2 cards, then destroy the chosen permanent if its mana value is less than or equal to the number of cards in your graveyard. Finally, March of the World Ooze, creature you control, gain power and toughness 6/6, and our oozes until addition to other types. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, if it's not their turn, you can create a 3/3 green elephant creature token. Okay, we're finally getting close to the good stuff. At Tarkir Alchemy, nothing super exciting. Seek a non-land card and a non-land phoneless card and put them all onto the battlefield. Put one on the battlefield and put one in graveyard. Oh no! Oh, it's they don't get all 3. A mounted card, a forest card, and a non-mounted forest card. Put one of them into your hand and put one of them into your graveyard. But one of them and one of them out of the battlefield. One into the. But one of them into the battlefield. Oh, it's Seek, so it's that you put 1. The Volkian Outrider. Mobilize 2. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, the top card in your library perpetually gains +1/+1. Rare wild card. Dragon Typhoon. To Kimberly Enchantment. When you cast a dragon or non-creature spell, draft a card from the spellbook and put it onto the battlefield. And then 4 to discard discharge to be able to create a 4/4 dragon creature token with flying. Okay, into the good stuff finally. Let's open the 2 solo ones first. So we get right up into it. Oh, exile target opponent with mana value 3 or greater. I guess as an uncommon, it's pretty good. Our card is Warden of the Grove. 2 green. At the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature, and whenever another non-token creature you control enters, it endures X, where X is the number of counters on this creature. Next we have Awaken the Honored Dead. They start turning on my permanent. 4 Soul Tie is strong. 2 mill 3 cards, and then 3 for you may discard a card. When you do, return target creature or land card from your graveyard to your hand. This has Soul Tie Violet written all over it. We'll try to figure that out. And then the first one here, boo. And Fenza Unyielding Lineage. Legendary Spirit Soldier, flash for strike whenever another non-token creature you control whenever another non-token creature you control dies, and Fenza endures 2, aka put 2 +1/+1 counters on it, or aka create a 2/2 creature. Sorak Elusive Hunter. This creature can be countered, trample whenever a creature you control or a spell you control an opponent controls enter, draw a card. Kodas the Fang Keeper. Whenever Kodas deals combat damage to a player, exile the top X cards of their library. You may, where X is the amount of damage dealt. You may cast any number of spells with mana value S You may cast any number of spells, so mana value X or less, from among them without any number without paying their mana cost. The number of the damage you dealt. Ways of victory: 1 white, mobilize 2, and your opponent can't cast spells during your turn. Insurance for protection. The Kobian encampment. I'm kind of went down energy wise. I'm gonna put you for this one. New way forward. The next time a sorcery of your control would deal damage to you this turn, prevent that damage. When damage is prevented this way, new way forward deals that much damage to that sorcery controller, and you draw that many cards. Rare wild card. Go to Fang Keeper. Stormscale Scion, fighting other dragon creatures, you get +1/+1 and storm. So the more you have, the bigger the dragon storm of guys come out. That's another geographic combo. Oh, Jasper, yes. This is the combo with the 1 or 0 cost changeling creature, because you need to have something in play for and a dragon specifically in play to get a fast mana from this. Going in camera, we already have Keeper's Familiar, 1 with Soul Tie, Flash. When this creature enters, you gain 3 life and Surveil 3. Destroy target enchantment or counter a target creature spell. Strong stuff. Stadium Headliner. Mobilize 1, sacrifice this creature. It deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control to target creature. Let's see, that's Hollow Merc Siege. When the enchantment enters, choose Sultai or Abzan. Whenever a creature you control, whenever a creature you can, whenever a counter is put on a creature, draw a card once each turn. Whenever you attack, put a +1 counter on target creature and it gains menace. Shiko Paragon of the Way, Spirit Dragon. When Flying Vigilance, when Shiko enters, takes out a non-land creature with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard, copy it, then you may cast a copy without paying its mana cost. Jeskai Revelation. To return target spell or permanent to its owner's hand, Jeskai Revelation deals 4 damage to any target. To create 2+1/+2/1/1 white monk creature tokens with prowess, draw 2 cards, gain 4 life. Rare Mal card. You love to see that. Okay. What do we have next? I got Flesh Crafter. 3 blue Snake Shapeshifter. You may have this creature enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, and then you renew this from the graveyard, then spend 2 blue and exile this to put a +1/+1 counter on target non-legendary creature you control. Each other creature you control becomes a copy of that creature. Unit battlefield. Look at the top 7 cards of your library, put two non-creature, non-land permanents, the non-creature collected company. Weirdly specific. Non-creature, non-land permanents, like for artifacts or enchantments, I guess. Great Russian CD. It enters tapped unless you control 4 short planes. Exile a creature card from your graveyard to put a +1/+1 spirit creature token. That's super exciting. Inevitable defeat. The spell can be countered. Another exile target non-land permanent, and then this drains as well. That's pretty interesting. Kind of doesn't. I don't see any red of a component here. Frostcliff Siege is pretty good. You choose Cheskai team mode. Cheskai mode is whenever one or more creature you control deal common damage to a player, you draw a card, and then creature you control get +1/+0 and have trample and haste. Bloomvine Regent. Whenever this creature or another dragon you control enters, you gain 3 life. And then Sorcery Omen alternate cast is search for the way for up to 2 basic 4 cards, reveal them and put onto the battlefield tapped. Put 1 onto the battlefield tapped and the other into your hand. So cultivate. Ooh, Craterhood Behemoth, we did it. Didn't have to pull it. Haste 5/5/8 or 5 green or 5 green or 5/5 with haste, and when this creature enters, creatures you control gain trample and +X, where X is the number of creatures you control. Yes, that is a beefy boy. Quarry Mountain Monastery. This land enters tapped unless you control a plains or an island. Tap at gray, tapped at red, and then exile the top card of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. A lot of salt. 2 red, white, black. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and death touch, and when this creature enchantment enters, if it's your main phase, there's an additional combat phase. After this phase, followed by an additional main phase. When you next attack this turn, and untap each creature you control. So it's like a 1-shot. It's an enchantment with the effect, and it has a 1 extra combat when it enters. Rare, mythic, wild card. Last 10 for Tokyo Dragon Storm. Let's see. Oh, what's this? Light and weight. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Light and weight deals damage equal to the card's or the target creature. Okay. I'm getting distracted. Dragonologist, dragonologist, dragon person, dragon expert. It's blue experts. Creature human wizard taps for 2 and blue. Whenever this creature enters, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal an instant, sorcery, or dragon card from among them and put it onto your hand. Then put the rest in the bottom of it, and the bottom of the library in the random order, and then untap dragons you control have hexproof. Arrival of the Ancestors. 1 white, black, green. Create 3. We just got those to create 3 1/1 spirits. Ritual 3 1+1/+1 counters among up to 3 creatures, 1 to 3. And creatures you control get turn point left link on the turn. Pretty nice, but basic stuff. It's kind of a one all-in-one, like I need to attack situation, but it's not good enough, I don't think. Yathan Road Watcher. When this creature enters, if you cast a real mill 4 cards, then when you do, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Clarion Conqueror. Flying 3/3 for 2 and a white. Activated abilities of artifacts, creatures, and planeswalkers can be activated by anybody, you included. Sidzi, Regent of the Mire, 1 in black for a zombie snake warlock, where you sacrifice a creature you control with mana value X, other than Sidzi, and you can return target creature card for max value X +1 from your graveyard to the battlefield. So you can basically swap things that you have for things that died, that are dead-ish. Already got that. Winter Night Stories. Draw 3 cards and then discard 2 cards unless you discard a creature card. Okay, that's a good harmonize. Meringue River Regent. Draw 3 cards and discard a card. I think I got this in a draft. When this creature enters, return target 2 other non-land permanents to their owner's hands. Finally, Sage of the Skies. Whenever you cast this turn, or you cast it whenever you cast this spell, if you cast another spell this turn, copy this spell. It's a token copy. That's a 2/2 flying lifelink. It's a cool little extra thing, but it's like a one shot. Doesn't really do enough, I don't think, unless you're doing cheap stuff, I suppose, and spell slinging stuff. It's just that's a mess. And now we're getting to the big 3 for me. Final Fantasy. It's a good set. Aerith Gainsborough we already have. Lifelink, when the Gains type just gets pumped, and when she dies, it can put X +1/+1 counters on each legendary creature you control, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on Aerith. We have first we have the Water Crystal. Blue spells cost 1 less. Whenever an opponent would mill, you mill 1 plus an extra 4 for each instance of milling. And then each opponent made 4 for 6 rather, 4 blue for each opponent mills cards equal to the number of cards in your hand plus 4. Kuja Genome Sorcerer. And at the beginning of your end step, create a tapped 0/1 creature token. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this token deals 1 damage to each opponent. And then if you control 4 wizards, you get a 4/6 that if a wizard you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it doubles that damage. Kane Trader's Dragoon. When you turn this as flying, and when the Kane deals coming damage to a player, that player gains control of Kane, and then if they do, you draw that many cards to create that many tapped treasure tokens, and then lose that much life. We're a wild card. Masamune. Green. 3 rather. As long as a creature is attacking, it has first strike and must be blocked if able. If a creature dying causes a triggered ability of this creature, or an emblem you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. And G Gloves, if a creature has double strike, whenever a creature attacks, you cannot tap it, and then you have a second combat step. Anything that can attack in that second combat step, including the same creature, because you just attack with it, and you can attack it that second time, not just with that creature. Boast Inc. It was a ability to target to get a search for a library for a card and then put that card on top. Furion, the Wild Rules Warrior. Equipped creatures you control have haste. Whenever a non-token equipment you control enters, create a token that's a copy of it, except it has this equipment's abilities cost 2 less to activate for 1 turn. Important to note that little bit at the bottom. Sacrifice a token to pick up a token. So you gotta get a new one. Obviously, he stays around, but the token always doesn't. The token's not stick around. You have to pay life equal to his power to target it, and when it attacks, attach to one target creature you control to a target attacking creature, and not itself. Noctis, Prince of Lucis, 1. It's interesting, and I hadn't thought of that idea because right now there's not much happening in here. I don't really to press this to really show, and this is like a blank canvas in the back here, which seems cool at first, but doesn't really add so much. If I move the camera, though, I'm gonna leave this here for consistency's sake, but I may be moving my camera location moving forward. Okay, noted for later. Second tangent thought cut. What does this even do? Lifelink 4/3. Noctis, Prince of Lucis. Lifelink human legendary creature, human noble. Lifelink 4/3. When you cast, you may cast artifact spells from your graveyard by paying 3 life in addition to paying their other costs. If you cast an spell this way, that artifact enters with a finale counter on it. Okay. Dion Bahamut's Dominance. Ooh. Transforms. Ooh, transform. During your turn, Dion and other knights you control have flying. Whenever Dion enters, create a 2/2 white creature token, and then you can pay 6 to exile to pay 6 to white or war colors to exile, and then return to the battlefield transformed. Transform goes pretty crazy. Bahamut Warden of Lights. It's a Saga Dragon, nice. Put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control, then those creatures you control can fly until end of turn for 2 turns, and then discard a permanent, and then return this back to the front facing mode. Finally, the mythic is Fancy Ragavan. Fancy alternate art Ragavan. Next 10. I believe I got 40 of these packs. That's pretty sick. Okay, what do we have first? Primeval Titan. Oh, nice. I was gonna definitely gotta use a wild card to get this card. I think I have it in other versions, but I definitely gotta have it that version now. Ooh, Kenrith the Return King. Noctis Lucis Kylum. Althea Infirm for the red green vigilance. Well, red green vehicle deck, which is pretty crazy to try. Fire Crystal. Red creature spells cast 1 less to cast. The creatures you control have haste, and then you can pay 4 red and a tap to create a token of target. A token that's a copy of target creature you control, and then sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Ooh. Lightning as Ishin to Heavens as 1. Doubles attack triggers, but that's pretty cool. Love that art. Vincent Valentine, legendary creature assassin. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a +1/+1 counters. Put a number of +1/+1 counters on Vincent Valentine's power equal to that creature's power, and then when it attacks, we transform it. It gets trample and haste, and then when this creature dies, return to the battlefield tapped. Back in the front facing mode. There's allies here. Whenever your hoopla enters or attacks, how creature you control gains double strike and lifelink. How interesting. We already checked out Benji Glove, Hope, weirdest guy, life gain to mill commander. White Mage, when you gain life, put up a +1/+1 counter on each cleric you control. It would be pretty tough to get clerics tough enough to get in the fray. But it's supposed to be funny to see them try. And this Terra is and mills 5, and you can return an enchantment milled. The other mode is, I guess it's the same. Your token target non-creature non-legendary enchantment you control. If it's a saga, put 3 cooler counters on it. Malam Garden can transform into a crewable vehicle. If I cared for that ability, already we did the effect on that. We got another extra real world card. Okay. Next we have Triple Triad called a little sub game. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player exiles the top card of their library. Until the turn, you may play the card you own exiled this way, and each other card exiled this way. Oh, without paying their mana. Okay, that's. I thought this was just like a crazy straight just chaos enchantment, but if I get the top card from each player, again, would be more fun in a 4-player game. But you are getting a spell for yours for free and a spell of theirs for free every turn. It's pretty nutty, and it's a pretty good value engine. Well, I would want to make a deck where this makes sense. Telegrate Sage. When you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 colorless hero. A former creature, a horrible mana was spent to draw 2 cards, and then if 8 or more creature, sacrifice the card and then deal damage equal to its that power to an opponent. That's interesting. Sarah Farron. Legendary. The first legendary creature you cast each turn costs 2 less to cast. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 2 or more other legendary creatures, you may transform Sarah Farron to an artifact where that makes it permanent that they get +2/+2. Ardyn the Usurper. Dragons you control have menace, lifelink, and haste, and then at the beginning of your combat of your turn, exile 1 target creature card from your graveyard. If you exile the card this way, create a token that's a copy of that card. See graveyard head to sneak in. 70 rare wild cards, very exciting. And Madgar Seer of Mako, you may sacrifice another target artifact or creature, and if you do, draw 2 cards, and then or have this luck come into play as a land that you can tap. Memories returning. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library, 1 of them into your hand, then choose an opponent. They put 1 on the bottom of their library, then you should put 1 on your hand, then they put 1 on the bottom of your library, put the other into your hand. You can return this with a flashback of 9. It's pretty cool. Another rare wild card, love to see that. Darkness Crystal. That I don't see, I've seen this. Black spells cost 1 less. If a non-target creature what opponent controls would die, instead exile it, and you gained 2 life. And then finally, put target creature card exile with the darkness crystal onto the battlefield tapped under your control with 2+1 additional +1/+1 counters on it. Finally, emit such on Sundered. When it enters or attacks, draw a card, discard a card. At being upkeep, there are 14 more cards in your graveyard. You may transform, and you may play cards in your graveyard. If a card or token would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. Last 10 for Final Fantasy. Excalibur 2. Whenever you gain life, put a charge counter on Excalibur 2. Whenever the creature gets +1/+1 for each charge counter on Excalibur 2. A Realm Reborn makes your permanents, all permanents, not just lands, tap to add mana of any color. Esper Origins. You Surveil 2. If this spell was cast from a graveyard, exile it, then put it onto the battlefield under your control. If this spell was cast from a graveyard, exile it, then put it onto the battlefield, transform it under its own control with a finale counter on it. And this in summer, so this Esper that you can only get if you cast this spell from your graveyard. First, reveal the top card of your library. When it's a permanent card, you can put it into your hand. Turn 2 gets you 2 extra mana, and then turn 3 gets you other creature control +2/+2 and trample. Okay, yeah, it's pretty strong with a 4. I mean, it says the timing on it has to be very lucky. Stilt Skin, Moogle Merchant, Stilt Skin, yep. +1/+2 lifelink, playing 2 target opponent, gain control of another target permanent you control, and if they do, you can draw a card. Tifa Lockhart. 1 green, 1/2 trample, landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, double Tifa Lockhart's power until end of turn. Kuja Genome Source I already have. Excalibur 2 already have. Mythic Well Wildcard. Yuna Hope of Spira. During your turn, Yuna and enchantment creatures you control have trample, lifelink, and ward 2. At the beginning of your end step, return one target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finale counter on it. Ooh, Dark Covenant. Being a 1 black, 1 at the beginning of upkeep, you reveal the top card number of your library and put it into your hand. You lose life equal to the difference. Okay. 3 Edge of Eternity's Arena exclusive cards. Gravitic Herald. When this creature life 2 for life. When this creature enters, seek a non-creature card with mana value 3 or less. That card gets warp 0 until end of turn, and you can do life just like a vroom vroom. Cavaron Consumed. What even is this? You may put an artifact or creature card from your hand to the battlefield. It perpetually becomes an artifact creature with 4 power and toughness, and then sacrifice it. Final rare, Bold Called Devotee. Whenever this creature attacks, counter card a Cantor of the Refrain from into your graveyard. Why would I care about this? When you cast a spell for its work, oh, return this card from the battlefield. Okay. To a war payoff. Okay, it's a few more pack sets to go through. Now it's Edge of Eternities, Moonlit Meditation, 2 blue. Whenever enchantment aura, enchant artifact or creature you control. The first time you would create one or more tokens this turn, you may instead create that many tokens that are copies of enchanted permanents. So you can play something when you want to copy, play stuff that creates other tokens, cheap and easy tokens, and then you profit and turn them into whatever you want it to turn into. That's a lot of regular roll. Okay, what do I have next is Storming Height Pool, 6 generic for an artifact that has affinity for slivers and gives slivers double strike and haste, and then it gives you the 2 sliver tokens as long as you get the first 2. It is a pretty good value, especially in a sliver deck. Arch Enemy's Charm. Black. Black is my soul. Black is my soul. Oh, what? Arch Enemy's Charm. Black. Choose one, exile target creature or planeswalker, or return 1 or 2 target creature cards and or planeswalker cards from a graveyard to your hand, or 3, put 2+1+ counters on target creature you control. It gains lifelink until end of turn. One of them seems way better than the others, but I mean the third one is kind of like weak, but it's good to have. We have Starfield Vocalist. Whenever 3/4/3 blue, whenever and if a permanent into the battlefield card has a triggered ability to trigger, it triggers a second time. So it doubles triggered abilities in blue. Interesting. Biotech Specialist. Whenever this creature enters, create a land or token. When you sacrifice an artifact, this creature deals 2 damage to target opponent. Synthesizer Lab Ship Station. Beginning of combat, up to 1 target artifact creature becomes an artifact creature. And at 9+ fly vigilance, total stationing. It's not super exciting, but 2. Yeah, you can say 2 at least. Suifit. Austere Harmonist. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's a skeleton. Yeah, it's just there. Just gonna be coming back like, oh, there's power, and I'm like, just don't overdo it, dude. Just be chill. Mistform Harmonizer, 2 green. Landfall. Whenever land you control enters, doubles the power of target creature until end of turn. Devastating Onslaught. XX red. Create X tokens are copies of a target artifact or creature. These tokens gain haste. Sacrifice them. Okay, it's getting step. Windows job my Y as a station land. You need 12 to get it active. That's pretty intense. Theater of War. Oh, Frenzy Bailoff is good. Ooh, Wendstone. I like these big heavy rocks. Hope I can do something useful with them one day. Okay. Next we have 2 Through the Omen Paths. The spider sets that has no spider assisted humanoids that aren't intrinsic to a system. Whenever it casts 1/1 for green blue trample, whenever it casts a creature spell with mana value equal to its power, copy that spell, except that spell isn't legendary, then put a +1/+1 counter on Duneth. Reality Fulcrum. When this artifact enters, exile top 2 cards of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play those cards. And add 2 mana in any combination to your mana pool. Spend this mana only to cast spells from exile. And then you're on Hacker. When you draw your first or second card each turn, plus one Ingenuity on Maratha. And you may cast an artifact spell from your hand with mana cost equal to or equal to the number of Ingenuity counters on Maratha without paying its mana cost. And then a Brood Recruiter, when you cast a creature, and web is if you have a tapped creature, you can return that thing to your hand and pay the web cost rather than the regular mana cost. Spending 1 mana for that mess of an ability, I don't know if it's be worth it. I guess it's good for some people in the situation where it requires it. Professor's Blessing, Bindings. When at the beginning of your upkeep, you may tap 2 target untapped creatures and their treasures. If you do, draw a card, and if not, sacrifice this enchantment. Tearing Crowd. At the beginning of each player's first main phase, they may put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. If they do, add an additional colorless to it. Relexia Curse. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you draw a card and lose 1 life. Arachnogenesis. Create 2 green, create X1/2 green spider creature tokens with reach, where X is the number of creatures attacking you. Prevent all combat damage that will be dealt to the by non-spider creatures this turn. Gloria, Great Armor. Whenever you attack, put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature. Whenever a modified creature you control deals combat damage to a player, exile top card of the library, you may play that card this turn. Okay. I'm gonna take wild card. And Vigo, Enforcer of Ix Crossing. That's weirdly specific. Whenever Vigo enters, return target creature card with mana value 1 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, and then you can transform this thing into Vigo, End of Ix Crossing, Menace, Trample, Haste. When it attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, draw X cards. Then you put a sacrifice creature's mana value to it. Okay, and where do we start? Land enters tapped. Then when this land enters from a graveyard, you lose 2 life. Okay, yeah, Mayhem. If you can play this card from your graveyard if you discarded it this turn. Urban Retreats. That's for bans or return target creature card to. You can pay 2 to return a creature card to its owner's hand to play this without using my land per turn, which is, I don't know, extreme. I don't know what cases that will come up. Hadis, the Storm Spinner. You can't cast Hadis in your first, second, or third turns, but it is cheap and it has double strike and vigilance. Beginning of your end step. Beginning of your upstep, if you played a land or cast a spell this turn from anywhere other than your hand, this deals echo damage equal to its power to any target. Lavabrain repels the Magmaloth. 4 red. Until your next turn, each creature attacks each combat and attacks a player other than you if able. Not relevant in 1v1. 3 red mana. This saga deals 5 damage to each opponent. Same thing as before. Urban Retreat we already have. That's a quick skip of Servitude. When this enters, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from a graveyard to the battlefield. It gains the creature attacks each combat table if able, and then this when this creature does combat damage to a player, sacrifice it. Okay. Well, this is just like one thing. Causes us to swarm as one. Riot. Other spiders have riot. Oh, this is the punk spider, I think. Other spiders have riot. Other spells abilities can be countered, and damage can be prevented. Stitcher's wings. Pretty mid. If it was cast from the graveyard, aka with mayhem, you can attach it directly, and then equip creature gets +2/+0 flying and haste. Ooh, wedding ring. When it's artifact enters, if it was cast, target opponent creates a token that's a copy of it, and whenever an opponent who controls an artifact when named wedding ring draws a card during their turn, you draw a card as well. What's mine is mine, and when yours is mine. Gubin, make one side is played for 1 and a blue, can be blocked, and when it goes combat damage to a player, he connives. And then we transform Gobin into some crazy thing that again casts spells to the graveyard for cheaper. And then each Long Night card in the graveyard has mayhem, so anything that's discarded can be recast again that turn. The last 8 onto the Omen paths. Giantcraft Helm. 1 for a equipment that whenever a creature you control with mana value 5 or greater enters, automatically gets attached and gets +4/+4, which is not bad for a 1 costing. You can get around that. It's pretty nifty, but not something I would make a deck around. Multiversal Passage becomes basically on top you need. It's been pretty good. Reko Heartless Hunter. Whenever a creature an opponent controls with greatest power among creatures you control, that player controls, dies, draw a card, +1/+1 counter on Reko. If you killed it, the biggest thing they have died. And beyond upkeep, discard a card and create a treasure token. The house grows hungry. Ooh. Discard a creature, may discard a card or lose 3 life, and exile a number of target players' graveyards. Okay, interesting. Boo. Wild card. See, that's right, Ogi. And web, and when it enters, exile that, and then tells us just choose a card, not that you handle it separately. Okay. All right, last leg, the last set of the year, Avatar. Let's crack 'em. Avatar's Wrath rolled me a little while ago. It's like it's a Wrath for at least a turn. And yeah, I lost the game to that in draft. It was pretty nasty. Azula Cunning Usurper. Firebending 2. When the center target opponent exiles a non-target creature they control, and then exile a non-land card from the graveyard, and then during your turn you may cast cards exile with Azula, and you can make cast them as though they had flash. Firebender Ascension. Attacking causing creature ability. You like that more. Sorry if I reopen a wound knife kind of roll. I would roll with that. I roll Grand Lotus, green and Timor, green, blue, red colors. Firebending 2, and then during your turn, each non-lesson insert sorcery graveyard has a flashback cost equal to its mana cost, or you have a lesson card in your graveyard you can maybe learn something for a change. Get your hat out of the gutter. Rare wild card. Raven Eagle. Oh, yeah, this look good. Excelling creatures. If any of those are clues, you get extra value. What else I can say? Oh, here we go, finally. This land just enter as you control a basic land. You can earthbend to at will. This is pretty sick. Wartime Protesters. Whenever another ally you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature and that creature at the gains haste until the end of turn. Boiling Rock Rider, tap an untapping ally to exile a creature card from a graveyard. And when it attacks, cast an ally from all those cards. Really, the last Agni Kai. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Time creature you control fights. The creature opponent controls. If that creature deals excess damage at that much red mana, you may do not lose red mana as steps end and phases end. 35. You got Zuko Conflicted. At the beginning of your main phase, choose one that hasn't been chosen and you lose 2 life. You either draw a card, +1/+1 counter on it, add black or red, and then get this card to someone else and have them try it over. Sokka, Tenacious Technician, Warrior Ally. Other allies have menace and prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a +1/+1 ally creature token. Foggy Swamp Visions to 1 black. Whenever an additional cost to cast a spell, Waterbend X, exile X target number creature cards from a graveyard from each. For each creature card exile this way, create a token that's a copy of it, and then we go to the next and sacrifice those tokens. And we got more Azula, more Ascension. We haven't seen Ascension. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put a quest counter on this enchantment, and then if it has 4 or more counters on it, draw a card, then +1/+1, this creature can waterbend outside. But it's enough if you already are in the water. Tea Master Iroh, when he enters, create a food token. At the beginning of combat, you may have target opponent gain control or target permanent you control. When you do, create a +1 ally creature token. Put a +1/+1 on each token, each creature. Elemental Teachings. Search a library for up to 4 blank cards with different names. Reveal them. Your opponent chooses to go to the graveyard, and the rest go to the battlefield. My scoring for Striker. First 2/2, 1/2 for strike. 2/2 for 1 in black, aka 2 CMC. Whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, they lose 2 life. Built-in Zookeeper. Each non-human creature you control gets +1/+1 for each of its creature types, maximum of 10. So no jobs. Has to be different. Each player draws 6 cards. Top is good. Heartbeat at Spring. Oh. But doesn't do much. Whenever this player taps, it's just green mana flare. Getting close. June, call out to June. God Hottie. Gotta respect that. Whenever this creature or another ally you control enters, you gain 1 life, and if this is the second time this is resolved this turn, draw a card. So allies pay off. Katara, Water Tribe's Hope. When Katara enters, put a a 1/1 white ally creature token, and then Waterbend X. All your creatures become power and toughness XX until end of turn. Obviously including her, but Yeah, if we're gonna create a team of 9/9s, we might as well get everybody in there. Land, enter 7 unless you control basic land. Pay 2 or 3 total with it to have some creature gain firebending, which I don't see why you would want to do that. It's just for trigger's sake. Tai Li, Chi blocker for flash prowess 2/1. When she enters a tap target creature, it doesn't untap. Everyone's been ragging on it because she can't survive it. But if you decide to stay on the land and you're gonna need something to punch through defenses, entirely will knock things out for you. Earthland ally creature gets +1/+0 for its ally, and then we're +2 to get a big heart guy for this thing to power up, but it's no guarantee. Suki, Courageous Rescuer, 1 white. Other creatures you're going to get +1/+0. Whenever another creature you control leaves the battlefield during your turn, create a 1/1 ally creature token. This ability triggers only once each turn. Firebending Student, prowess, where firebending is the creature's power. Where Mythic Wildcard. The Rise of Zozen. This rolled me, I think, in draft recently. Destroy all creatures, and then choose a card name and exile all of those. And made them search for what they wanted. Okay. Oh. Okay, yeah, just read these two. The Legend of Roku, Avatar Roku. Exile the top 2 green, red, exile top 3 cards of our library. Up till the end of your next turn, you may play those cards. You got 1 mana, and then switch it to Avatar Roku card, where firebending 4, and it creates a red, white creature token. It can tap for firebending, but only profitable once you do 4 and really 8 in practice. Intruder Alarm, the combo card. And Intruder Alarm, enchantment for 2 in blue, for originally from Tempest, I want to say. Creature don't untap doing their controller's untap step. Whenever a creature enters, untap all creatures. Okay. 2 more cracks to go. We've been at this for another hour. Wow. And, yeah, we're gonna scream in right at under the 2-hour mark, I think, for the recording, I guess. Firebending Ascension we already talked about, I think. Well, I'm not sure. That thing is confusing it. Whenever this enchantment enters, create a 2/2 soldier with Firebending 1, and then whenever a creature attacking creature creates a trigger ability, put a quest counter on it. When you have 4 more quest counters, you may choose 2 more targets. So you get 4. You get this turned on. Anything any attacks trigger twice. We already had checked Bossing Say. We check Suki, rare wild card. Diligent Zookeeper we have. Abandoned Air Temple. Probably the most powerful just because it's a good, it has a role in the deck. It even needs that card is a thing. An Eagle already have. Tough, hard-headed Teacher. When Tough enters, you can discard a card. If you do, return target to sorcery from your character to your hand. And when you cast a spell, Earthbend X, and then that spell, if that spell is a lesson, put some kind of on that spell, on that land. Mythic Wild card. Badger Cub! Yes! Badger Cub! That is the pull. It's like $50 nowadays. So I mean, it's a rare wild card away, but that's 1 less mythic wild card I'll need to craft. Badger Cub. 1 blue, 1 green creature. Badger Mole. Badger. Mushroom. When this creature enters, spend 1. When you tap a creature for mana, adds an additional 1. When you tap a land creature, also counts. Pretty cool. And the final 5 cracks, we did it. We accomplished everything. That crack made everything worth it. Well, obviously, I'm going to be enjoying a lot of this moving forward, but that crack for the Badgermole Cub has been the crack for of this whole thing. Probably the one I'm most excited about. It goes in a lot of different decks. Last 5 cracks in my booster collection. Tough Hard-Headed Teacher already have. Willing Rider we already have. Arrogant Loads we already have. Earthen Alley we already have. And Sozin's Comment. Each creature you control gets 5 ending on a turn. Disappointing ending. Nobody cares. We did it. We got what we wanted. We have all the packs. Oh, well, let's see if there's anything back here. Nope. Any chance? Nope. Fantastic. All right. So very happy with the results of all of that. And excited that I was able to stream and all of these things. So that's this all seems to have worked. So we'll call it here. Very good. Stay tuned for Powered Cube. Very big fan of the old Powered Cube. Phantom thing for 1500. I hate you all so much, but you're gonna love that. I love this. I love cube drafts, so we're gonna make that work. Okay, thank you so much for following me here. I guess if I do everything I want to do, I'm gonna ask you to like, comment, and subscribe to my channels. Be on Facebook, particularly Apple Juice Soda. I want to create into a professional page. I'm streaming to my regular Boomer Facebook profile, but I would want to segregate that out into an Apple Juice Soda page that I created, but I haven't really done anything with. Go figure. But other than that, thank you so much, and good night. The visit prevails.